Can you hear me again?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Did that help at all?
I say a little bit more.
La 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 la. Okay. So I
Oh no, it's just
um
yeah. I was gonna say I think it's less bad than it was, but I can hear it really. I can still hear it.
I have no idea what's wrong. Um, like those. I'm out of ideas on how to fix it. Um,
Yeah.
sorry, people. It'll just have to be kind of shitty audio. I have no thoughts. Head empty. Um, but yeah. I don't know why it's so echoey. Okay, I don't
Hello?
think the echo is happening anymore. It's just stuttery.
I'm still getting an echo.
Okay.
Let me see. I'm just gonna Google like echo. Echo on
Because
stream, just in case there's some
I
settings thing and that we haven't seen.
unmuted my stream. I'm gonna. So I know that at least I'm not echoing. I'm stuttering like bad connection.
Right. Right. So it may
So I'm
be
just
like
gonna make sure my cords are completely plugged in and didn't get knocked out.
gotcha.
Because otherwise it might just be my internet.
Might be, yeah. Which sucks, and there's not much we can do about it.
So yeah, I'm gonna try the built-in mic, that's built into my iMac.
Hmm. Cool.
Does it come in better?
Oh yeah, that's not echoey at all.
Okay, la.
No, that sounds great.
Okay. Uh, that's built into my iMac. I don't normally use it because technically the one that I normally use is a directional mic.
Right,
So it's
right.
supposed to have less background noise.
Yeah.
Um,
I can hear like a little bit of the room echo, but it's still like way clearer than the other mic was.
I
So,
don't know why my other mic was messing out. We'll fiddle with that at a later date. Um, but at least now I am winnable. Um, so thank you for this tech support, people. Um, so then, anyway, so I was talking about the Psalms of the Wild built. So then the main character is like a tea monk, which is basically she makes tea for people and they vent to her.
good.
Um, and
God, I want that to be
uh,
my job
well, so the thing
some
is like,
days.
so she travels from town to town and makes tea, um, and um, was like after like doing it for a few years, she's like, why am I unhappy?
Right.
And it kind of seems like she's burnout.
Mm.
Um,
Just
and
because
it's
she's been listening to other people's problems for years.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's kind of and so she decides to like go visit temple that like is technically in the robot side of like the world. Um, and runs into a robot that was gonna go ask humans like, hey, how's it going?
Right.
And so it's kind of like I liked it because it was sort of like quiet and like Like I say it's about burnout, but like the main character does not realize such a burnout.
Yeah, like Kiki's
Because
delivery service.
yeah, but it's also because she's like, listen, like we solved hunger, no one's homeless, like we've solved all the big problems.
Yeah,
Um, why am I still unhappy?
yeah,
Um, and like, I think it's basically she thought like being a monk would give her a grand purpose.
and it has
Um,
not.
and it did for a little while, and now she's burnt out basically.
Yeah,
Um, and kind of like questions like the point of work in general. Um,
I mean,
and
I feel that a lot.
like the therapist sort of like life is very
Relatable.
quiet and philosophical while this monk and this robot around. Um,
Good. God, that
and
sounds
yeah,
wonderful.
yeah, it's very good. The audiobook, it's a novella. Like the audiobook was only 4
Yeah,
hours
yeah.
long. Um,
What's it called again?
and Psalm for the Wild Built.
The Wild Built. I love it.
Because the Wild Built is how the robot refers to itself. Because
Oh, cool.
one of the things that happened is so robots started to break down one by one, and robots got together and like having about what to do with robots that break down.
Interesting.
And
Those that can
they
become
said
obsolete.
their thing was, well, it's not so much, there is no better version of them because without making robots, so it's not
Mm.
an obsolete thing. They were like, well, everything in nature dies, but then
Right,
continues onward through its young. So what they do when robots break down is they mix and match parts, so they're never
right.
making the same robot. Um,
Nice.
so
So there's
they
always
are,
something new.
yeah. So this the robot is like the fifth generation of wild built robots.
Right.
So yeah. And because it's been like hundreds of years since the robots left.
Hmm.
And the robot is like going to visit humans because they wanted basically like, all right, so it's been 500 years without us. What have you humans been up to? Been talked in a while. What's up?
Yeah.
So good robots. Good robots. Uh, um, yeah, that was a good book recently. You read anything good recently?
What have I read recently? Yes, so I read this YA book. I've been reading a bunch of YA lately because I'm trying to get some ideas for if I want to like do a YA novella. Just kind of like getting voice ideas and stuff. And there's been some really good YA put out recently by like some cool people of color authors.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a
Mm-hmm.
whole curated section of it at my library. So I've just been like going through that list. And I can't remember the first one I read. It was by a black author, but I wasn't super impressed with it. It was just sort of like, what if kind of Hunger Gamesy, but in Africa? And I was like, okay, it's fun, but like in like mythical Africa too. So I was like, okay, interesting. Not super into the plot though, and it's a lot of the like really sort of obnoxious YA stuff of like this is all just a love triangle, and the girl who is a hero is like, I am the hero and I am too busy for all of this, but also I will have love triangles. And I was like, yeah, whatever. This is very very classic YA, not super big on this. But then the one I read was Ruxandra Khan, I think was the main character's name. Is like
Mm-hmm.
Ruxandra Khan, The Life and Lives of Ruxandra Khan. And it was very, very good. It was about a young Muslim girl who grew up in America and is gay and is trying to hide it from her parents, but then her parents find out.
Mm-hmm.
And they're fairly like with it and hip parents, but they've been always really good to her, but they completely lose their minds about her being gay because they have it built up in their heads that they're gonna like she's gonna get married off to a good Bengali boy, and they've already got like a bunch of people lined up. And so they like not really kidnap her, but they arrange for a family trip and lie and say that her grandmother is sick. And then they like try various things to marry her off, but they're never like pressuring her like you will have to get married until some plot twists happen later in the book. And it's just like she's a really, really interestingly written character. She's super relatable. The writing is really fresh and punchy. And it was so good that I went and I found the second book by that same author,
Mm-hmm.
which was, again, it's the name of the main character. And I'm struggling to remember it because it was like a week ago now. Um, but it was the main character's name is here. And this one takes place in Texas. And again, is about a young Muslim girl. But like, she's gay and proud, and that's fine, and that's not a problem in this book. But the guy at the school, who's like this big jock, um, hates her because his dad's racist and is all like making fun of her and her family for being terrorists, which is annoying. But she stands up to him one day, and then he gets his dad involved, and everything spirals out of control very quickly. Like he spray paints like "You're not welcome here, terrorists" or something on their house,
Mm-hmm.
and then her father goes in the middle of the night to go and confront the other boy's dad because he's like caught the boy doing it, and then her dad gets shot because he was trespassing on this rich white guy's property in the middle of the night.
Sounds like Texas.
Yep. And then because of that, he gets arrested, and because he's getting arrested, the 8 years that they have waited for to get their green card processed is suddenly put in like serious jeopardy.
Oof.
And it gets really real really fast. Like the first 3 or 4 chapters are all this really nice, like getting to know her family and stuff, and getting to know her new girlfriend. It's great, and then it all goes wrong in like a single chapter, and you're just like, oh shit, how are they going to get out of this? Really intense story. Like, kind of made me emotional.
I I've just been watching shit with wizards and robots in it. I don't
That sounds fun. That's not
know.
usual. Like,
Yeah.
usually when I'm reading or watching stuff, that's what I go for. But like,
So this is
I'm doing
on
like a
topic of you
research deep dive.
saying you this is on the topic of talking about YA love triangles. I read a
In YAs.
bunch. Yeah. I read a few years ago. I read a bunch of YA. And realized my tolerance for a love triangle is how much the love triangle is the dude. Like if you want me to pick a side in a love triangle,
Yep.
whichever dude is like, we need to stop the plot to talk about my feelings and dick. That's
Yeah.
the dude
Yeah.
I'm gonna like.
Yes.
Because
And the like ride or die friend is like, yeah, cool, you're cool.
because so and I realized this because I was reading this really good YA series, Core Fives, which is
I've
about
read that one.
um, so it's about like this one country has been colonized by another. The main character is biracial, um, and her dad is like high up in conquering nation military. Her mom
Right.
is like native of the country, and the local sport is mostly the players are mostly from the nation that was conquered. And the main character is super into this made up sport. And her dad doesn't want her to participate because mostly um, her mom is of people that can compete. So as a upper echelon person, it would like shameful to him to have his daughter be competing in this because of
Right.
classism and
Right,
racism.
right, right.
Um, and so she sneaks in, competes anyway.
Good, good, good.
Other person who snuck in to compete is like the crown prince of the nation who wanted to sneak in to compete for similar reasons. Um, only he has to risk because he's the crown prince. So it's found
Yeah,
out
yeah.
like his family's not going to lose their position.
No.
Um, she beats the crown prince.
Good.
And then her dad dies. And her family loses their like special status. Except for her, because now the crown prince is gonna like sponsor her to be a professional athlete.
Oh.
So she's kind
Of this super
of,
game.
yeah, she's kind
Nice.
of ignoring the tumultuous political situation because she's like, cool, I get to play the sport that I really like.
Right, right, right.
And so then her other love interest is the same race as her mom, and like part of like an underground like revolution, and let's overthrow the monarchy. I was they did a good job. The story did a great job of making both guys likable, and both guys like you understand why she might be drawn to both of them, because like the
Right.
revolutionary guy's kind of sassy. He's got a lot of like barbs, and when he is challenging the main character for ignoring the tumultuous political situation. He has a point. Is ignoring the fact that like she used as a prop to justify the
Yeah.
conquest of her mother's people.
Yeah,
Um,
that seems like a problem.
and um, and she's like, man, I just want to play my sports ball.
I like my
Um,
sports ball though, and I'm getting sponsored to do it.
and
I'm
so
good
and
at it.
so then like she goes and hangs out with Prince, and he's not challenging her in all these political ways. He's encouraging her to play the sports ball. Um, but he's also, literally part of the main
Right.
mechanism that's suppressing
Yeah.
people. Like,
Right.
and so I was kind of like, oh, this is one of the few triangles where I don't know which one I'm rooting for. Like, I'm kind of leaning toward the
Interesting.
revolutionary guy. He has a good point.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it gets toward the end of the trilogy, because they're all trilogies.
Yeah, of
Um,
course. Yeah. That's how you do a
and
YA series. Come on.
and she finally realizes that she can't ignore the political situation that's going on. As it turns out, sports ball did not end racism.
What?
And
I thought it could.
uh, uh, so she joins like the revolution. And first crown prince guy doesn't get it. That's like causes the rift between them. So then they're about to do the final thing, and then the revolutionary guy is like, hey, hold on a second. I know we're about to do this important like revolutionary thing, but I really need to talk to you about my dick. And I
do have
instantly was
feelings
like,
for you, and we
yeah,
should get it on.
yeah, and I was like, really? Now? This when you bring it up? This is not
Really?
the time. Yeah. And I instantly like turned on him, and was like, now
You're
is
like,
not
buddy,
the time, sir.
buddy.
Like,
No.
there are other things going on that are more important than your penis.
Yep.
Um, and
There's a thing. There's a revolution happening.
and
What don't you know? He's a teenager. It's very important.
and it was the thing that also like made me okay with her like hooking up with the crown prince is when the evolutionary thing happens.
Yep.
It's basically he overthrows his dad and like helps the revolution cause a coup. And then
Oh,
like
interesting.
he helps like disassemble the monarchy. So like he overthrows dad and then instantly dissolves the monarchy. And then
the
like
is
the little
doing more for the revolution.
yeah, and the log is him being like, I kind of don't know it's myself now because I've
did the
yeah. I can't have. I'm not getting weighted on hand and foot anymore.
Yeah. I did the big thing. I thought it would make it really great, but it sucks.
And it's kind of him like, well, I don't know what to do myself now, so
Right.
I guess I'll join the army. Shrug. Like
Lols. I was doing this for shits and giggles anyway, so interesting.
I mean, like, yeah, so it was kind of like, now I'm also insufferable because I've that why series is to that high bar of if the main character is going to hook up with their oppressor, setups are better to disassemble the entire system that gave them power where they get together.
Good. Could be a lot bigger. There we go. There we go. I was drawing it a really tiny size for some reason. I don't know why.
Because the other my book I had most recently like not live up to that, and I think might be one of the worst books I've ever read.
Yeah, yikes.
And I kind of annoyed at the friend that to read it and want me to read it.
It's like, yo, you like YA, right? What about this one?
It was actually, I was very baffled because it was kind of like, what made you think that I personally would like this? Because it was supposed to be like the Bachelor in a dystopia future, but the
whole concept.
But the royal family of this kingdom has like a bachelor setup to pick like the prince's wife as like a state propaganda thing. And it was kind of like I went into it expecting it to be trashy, because it's The Bachelor, and instead it was the main character sits in her room and does a lot of nothing, and then continues to do nothing, and then then she finds out that there's a rebellion, but actually there's two rebellions. There's bad rebellion that is violent, and then there's the good rebellion, which doesn't want to dissolve the monarchy. They just want to like change stuff a little bit,
just a little tweak.
And like when I was venting about how bad this book was to another friend, I was like, Joe Biden's rebellion, because that's how I felt about the other ones. And yeah, it was
good.
It
Oof.
Yeah. There was a lot wrong with the series that I won't go into, but
right. Was it written by a
Saved?
white guy? Was it written by a white
guy?
No,
it was written by a white lady.
Really? Oh, well, you know, that's
whose husband is a pastor.
Oh.
Which I was like, that explains why this is maybe the chasest white book I ever read. And it's a lot of sitting in a room, not thinking about anything.
That's how you go through life, right? That's good. It's good for girls.
Anyway,
don't think about it too hard.
Lie back and think of it.
Not it too hard, sweetheart. You'll hurt yourself. Yikes! Good. Sounds like a great series.
It was very much like, what made me think that I would like a story where
Like this.
the messages partly there aren't so bad.
Yeah, that's not your style at all. That seems
And my joke complaint was that no one said I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to win. And I think I might have been able to put with all the books flaws if someone said that.
right. Didn't even do that trope though. Couldn't even
No,
go that far.
no.
Well, that sounds like a shitty book.
Yes, it was. It's a shitty book that's apparently becoming a shitty Netflix movie.
Oh, good. Oh, good. God, I don't know if I want to get into webcomics drama.
Oh.
Okay, I didn't know that the Crosby Marry Me thing was a movie now? It's a movie?
I heard that it was sold as a movie back when it happened and was online. I just didn't
Wow.
expect it to ever get
Ever
finished.
go anywhere?
Because
Yeah.
in theory, Last Blood was also sold as a movie around that time.
Right.
That was their
Yeah.
argument on why they should give Bob everything that he wants.
Right.
It is his story is very popular, and we held them Hollywood. That was like
Oh boy.
verbatim what
I
one of
remember
the
the
other
big
Crosbys
table he
said to
got.
me.
Yeah, I remember the big
Yes.
table they got at San Diego every year to try and sell stuff to Hollywood.
Mm-hmm. But that was after he sold these two things. So that was his
Right.
that's
Right.
why they moved over to that other area, is because we've sold things to
Oh.
Hollywood. We are too big for the shitty
Be in
comics
this
section
shitty
anymore.
webcomics area.
We're done with webcomics.
Oh man, I did not know of any of this, and then I went to Twitter today just to see what was going on, to tweet about this stream that we're doing tonight, and I saw folks were getting into it again about the old school webcomics days, and I was like, "Hoo boy, the discourse is happening.
Yeah.
There's some spicy stuff going on today."
Anyway, yeah. What were people saying? Because I have not been paying attention to
Good,
anything
good.
related to them.
Don't pay attention to anything on the internet right now. It will only make you feel sad and bad or weird. Although this thread was fun. It was like weird encounters folks have had in the back in the bad old days of webcomics, both with other webcomics people and occasionally with fans. But the majority of the discourse today was like about. Do you remember when it was a thing in webcomics to like shit on other creators for no reason? Because that would make you more popular somehow.
Yes, the Scott Kurtz method of promotion.
I wasn't going to name names, but if you're gonna, yeah. So that's a thing. That's what folks were talking about today on the old interwebs. I was trying to distract myself from the fact that another batch of unmarked graves had been found today in Canada.
Oh.
So that's good.
Well, I guess distracting yourself with comic drama is
yeah, it was refreshing.
So bad then. And
yeah.
I remember one time when Scott Kurtz and Crosby got into an argument in my comments section, and
oh boy.
I forget what Scott Kurtz wrote, but
oh, no.
Bobby wrote like a 5-page essay in response.
Oh no.
And it's
no.
And the thing that struck me about it was giant paragraph. No one in my family has ever lived in school. Giant paragraph. The fact that no one in my family has ever lived in a school is all on its own just made it stick out more.
Nice.
So
like,
that's
okay.
That's the thing that I remember about Bobby Crosby the most is no one in my family has ever lived in a school. Good. Because that is like the weirdest statement.
It's a weird fact. That's just a weird fact. That's true.
And I think he was addressing that, like, I think, like, Keenspot used to be run out of an old school, like, their office was there.
Yes,
Like,
there was a school in a small town that they bought because they could buy it outright and then not pay rent, I think. But then also they used it as like warehouse space for all the merch.
Yeah.
Which, honestly,
And
not a terrible idea.
Yeah, which is not a bad idea. And I guess Scots thought they lived there. And that is why Bobby had to make that statement. Well, according to Bobby, no one in his family has ever lived in a school. So
Okay, gotcha. Gotcha, okay.
That is what prompted that statement.
They did not live there. They were just they just owned a school.
Yeah. So, which I just think that's the funniest thing. Like all old web drama, that's the funniest statement.
Nobody in my family
has
lived
ever
in a
lived in a school.
Like, is a statement. That is a powerful statement.
Yeah.
Cool.
And that's just a story that I'm fine with repeating because I feel like it doesn't actually make anyone that look that bad. It's just a silly statement
it's just
all on its own.
Thing to say. God, I did not pay much attention to that back in the old days. I was just like, I'm over here doing my own comics thing.
The reason why
These people
argument
are way
happened,
more popular than me, so I won't even get involved.
Well, the reason why it happened is because that's when Keenspot fired me.
Right.
Yeah. And I decided to air all their dirty laundry because I was 19, very mature.
Right. That is a thing.
Yeah. So, yeah. Keenspot is a thing that existed.
Yep.
And I guess still exists because now they're riding on Markiplier's coattails. Because
what is up with
that? So this is another funny factoid. It doesn't actually make anyone look bad. So there's that very popular furry harem webcomic, early 2000s, two kinds.
Oh yes, yep. That was one. There was three kinds of comics on Keenspot early in the day. There was furry porn or furry porn, or furry anime or porn, and some of them were all three. That's how that went.
And so the guy who makes kinds, is Markiplier's brother.
Oh, that's a very internet-y family.
Yeah, small world. They're both famous and different scenes of the internet, and I think that's funny.
Yep.
But yeah, that's how they ended up getting Markiplier to do business with them.
Fascinating.
So, it's just like, yeah, this is the same company that printed my brother's books, and maybe
you can also come over here. Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah. Anyway, I'm coloring You're the Chosen One. Which is
I'm very self-indulgent shadow or cyberpunk fan art.
Good. How do your cyberpunk adventures?
Oh, so good, Kel. I really enjoy the storyline that I am playing through right now. They, despite the many problems that studio had getting this game out the door, they had some writers on this show. It was solid.
Also,
Keanu Reeves is a very good hateable character that then halfway through you're like, oh, can't quite hate you, but I do. But oh god, it's good. The plot is excellent. I won't spoil it for anybody who's still playing through it. But it's very good.
I'll probably never play it,
but yeah, for anyone who has played it, I'll say I am at the point where I just finished the Chippin' In storyline, and woof, good.
Did you do the storyline with the fortune telling machines?
I don't know that I've gotten to that one. I'm doing the one where you're collecting tarot cards.
Okay. Did you finish the sex worker storyline?
Yes, and I am
Okay,
now
okay.
dating Judy, and it's great. She's great. I love her.
So the YouTuber that I like that I told you did not cyberpunk,
Yeah.
or
Oh no,
found
the
it
the
to.
sex worker storyline does not end well. Like
Yeah,
even
they're
in the best ending, it's
disappointed.
kind of like
Yeah, they were disappointed that like the options that you get are like, there's escape. There is always more capitalism.
yeah.
When
Which like is
they
kind of a theme of cyberpunk, but also like I could see a writing room full of just dudes
Mhm.
deciding that that was the case and not letting people have fun even in fantasy.
and it's basically like their main complaint is like that there is just no hope, and it's
Yeah.
very capital realism, that it's easier to imagine the end of the world than the end of capitalism. um
Yeah.
so
Which I mean, kind of a theme of cyberpunk, but also fairly depressing.
well, so they argue that like other cyberpunks, you have like Decker and forget the lady's name in Blade Runner. Like they drive off together, and
Yeah, at
like
least there's that escape.
that's like a vaguely hopeful ending, and like
Yeah.
so this vaguely like there is like some slimmer of escape. Say compared to um Cloudpunk, which is also a very cyberpunk thing.
Hmm.
That has like um their video on Cloudpunk talks about like the reason why they like Cloudpunk is because they're not worried about being overly serious. Um,
Hmm.
they can make their points better. Um,
Right.
and one of the
Because it's a
things
little
is
bit
that they,
inherently ridiculous and not like we're grim dark.
yeah,
Grim.
yeah, and so one of the things that they do is rather than like thing being depressing at the time, there are goofy bits like um you made a gang of robots that are like, we're the worst criminals ever.
Right.
And they're like, we commit the worst crimes, and you ask them what the
What are your
worst crimes
crimes?
are. Urban
Yeah.
renewal, bitches. Like
Good.
because robots, when given the rules of capitalism, everything has to be profitable. A green space that has no profit and is just
Is
for
the
people
punkest
to
thing you can do.
enjoy is the
Yeah.
punkest thing you can do. Like so,
I mean, that's true. That's just truth.
and so it's kind of like you have that little like bit of hopeful glimmer in the cyberpunk landscape, and they
Nice.
want something like that in cyberpunk,
Hmm.
to whatever the numbers at
77.
the end. Yeah, yeah,
It's always funny because it's based off of a role-playing game.
yeah.
And much like Shadowrun, it has not dated super great because like the first one I think came out in the late 80s, early 90s. I think it was an 80s production, that one. So it was like Cyberpunk 2020 because
Mm-hmm.
2020 sounds cool, right? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
at least before it actually happened, it sounded real cool and futury. Turns out it sucked. But so there's like stuff in the role playing game where like yeah in the year 2020 this happens and this other thing happens and this other thing happens, so they're kind of calling to that in the game setting a little bit where they're like yeah 2020 was the year that this happened and I was already like chromed up and running around the streets, and you're like no though. You
Mm-hmm.
definitely didn't have a metal arm in 2022. Now that is somewhat hypocritical for me to say because I am
You have
legitimately
your
running around with
surprise.
cyber eyes.
Yeah.
So, like, there is some cyberware in 2022.
Um.
Just, I don't have a metal arm.
but yeah, so that is sort of like, so the sex workers not having an option where you can make an actual difference.
For me, it feels like they were going to write more to that storyline and then didn't because of the very many budget constraints. But because, so the actual plot line when you're running through it, you do succeed.
Mhm.
And there's clearly different levels of success that you can do. They give you like three choices at the end. It's like kill this person, leave this person alive, or do this other thing.
Mhm.
And you're like, okay, well, I can make some choices here. And then that all goes pretty well. Although if you do kill somebody, your girlfriend is like, wow, you are, I knew that you were a mercenary, but like you are actually killing people. I gotta go away and think about this for a bit. Which, like,
That's
legit,
fair.
right? That's fair. That's a good thing that you should probably do if your girlfriend is a killer. Uh so like that's good. And then the storyline ends, and then there's like the romance part where you go and you meet your girlfriend who's like, "No, I've come to terms with you being a killer and I still love you, so like let's get it on." In a real awkward 3D animated way, because like I have
Yeah.
not seen any good sex scenes in any video games. They're all awful and weird and awkward. But that part's great. And then there's like a throwaway line in her dialogue where she's like, where you're like, so how's things going with the sex workers at the club? And she's like, oh, I don't want to talk about it. It's all awful. This, and this, and this happened. Anyway, let's not talk about it anymore. And then they just never mention anything about it again, and you can't interact with that plot anymore. It's just done.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that feels like they didn't have enough funding to actually wrap that up in a
And
in a way that was
but so
not
like the
awful.
way that um there is no good ending for that storyline.
Yeah.
Like continues using kind of all the side quests, and that was
Mm.
their complaint. It
I'm
feels like
scared about the ending. I've heard I'm very worried that they won't stick the landing on this game because I've been enjoying it very much.
because it's like they're the one that said Johnny thinks the revolution's worth dying for, not worth living for, and kind of
Yeah.
seems like Johnny is what they think of revolutionaries in general.
Mm.
That's meaningless. And that
Right.
was kind of their main complaint about cyberpunk, and bum that cyberpunk had this message when like so
We're at a
many
point of
other
time in history where actually its
yeah
messages of you should keep fighting are relevant on a daily basis.
yeah and so the other big example uh the
I,
is
I
the
could draw arms. Can I draw arms? I don't know.
uh so the nightly is in my chat saying the stream has echoed audio, so I guess the audio problem is back. I don't know.
Oh no,
um
I don't hear echoey from you. Hmm.
I don't know. But
Whoa, what the heck's going on with my stream? No, I'm good. That was just on my end. Ha ha ha. I didn't wreck everything. Although I can't
um
hear Kel's audio anymore, so I don't. Oh no, you're back.
oh, I was just not talking, listening to my
Oh, okay,
stream
cool.
muted to see if there echo.
Sweet. Picking one up, maybe.
um uh
So,
I don't know.
that
um
those plot lines aside, I'm even if the ending sucks, I'm gonna write my own ending because I'm super into this game in like a very embarrassing
yeah,
manner. I've always been really into cyberpunk,
but
just generally.
there are other
Um,
example of that there is no of have ending is
yeah.
the foreteller story. So when you do that one, like I can tell you their thoughts on it.
Okay, I have
uh
not. I don't know that I've interacted with that one at all. It's not the tarot card one, is it?
no, it's there are fortune teller machines that kind of spout left gibberish. um
Oh, okay, yes, I have. I've started that and I'm waiting for the call back about it. You have to like call this hidden number and then wait to hear back about it. And I'm like, all right, put in the call.
so
Haven't
yeah,
heard anybody.
when do that one.
I'll
Anyway,
see.
I got Onion Knight and Nightly Elf in my chat discussing our various audio problems.
Problems. Oh no.
but seems
I
like
got
maybe Echo is
some
back
folks in
or
mind.
whatever.
Hmm. Boo, only on your end though, because I'm not hearing it. You sound good here.
Yeah. Okay. Onion Knight's saying it's fine. It's like nitpicky
Oh,
PR
okay.
thing.
Good, good.
Uh,
Anyway, so
Onion is
I
happy to vibe. Is what
sweet.
he's
We're just
saying.
vibing. We're
Vibe
just vibing
times.
tonight. Good.
I got
Vibing, talking about some video games.
Onion Knight to read more. The Discworld book.
Ooh, good.
Onion Knight in a Discord group I'm in, and I successfully got said Discord group to do a book club. We're gonna read a bunch of Discworld books.
Nice.
But Onion Knight really is the I could murder for a line and frith.
Yes.
Which I think the Discworld website sells T-shirts that have death saying that.
Oh, good.
Cause that's a very good like
That's a
T-shirt
very good
line.
line.
It's a very good T-shirty statement. And
yeah, I can draw those, right?
Trying to think.
You love assholes, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yes,
that's a good kind of character.
I do love
you would
assholes.
be you would be a fan of Johnny Silverhand, who is a great, great asshole.
It sounds like he'd be a character I'd like, but I'd also may get frustrated with the story as a whole if it has that
Yes.
there is nothing you can do
Yeah.
of capitalism message.
I'm worried about that with the ending. I have not got there yet. I'm worried it'll ruin all my fun. I'll be like, one of these weeks I'll come in here like, hell, I hate Cyberpunk now.
Nightly is saying
You'll have to worry about
my favorite cyberpunk setting remains Bubblegum Crisis. I don't actually know that much cyberpunk media. Because I was much more of a fantasy kid than a sci-fi kid.
Yeah, have you not read Neil Stephenson, who has a hero named Hero Protagonist?
I have read Snow Crash. I do know Snow Crash, and I know about Hero Protagonist.
Fucking Hero fucking Protagonist. Come on.
Listen, that's a great name.
It's a great name.
Kiss.
But also, when Reality Winner was in the news, I was like, oh shit, this isn't a William Gibson cyberpunk. This is a Neil Stephenson cyberpunk, and that's worse. Reality is bad.
I also read I read a bunch of Neil Stephenson a decade ago. I was doing this thing like a deco as I was looking for audiobooks to read. I would get like if I liked an author, I would try to like read their books in order to see like how their writing developed. And so like I read Ananthem. I might be saying the title wrong. Which is one of Neil Stephenson's newer books, and I read Zodiac, which was one of his first books.
Right.
Zodiac is interesting, except the audio drove me crazy because I'm in Massachusetts. He was mispronouncing all the town names wrong.
No.
He kept saying Natick instead of Natick, and I was just like,
no,
nope. That's wrong. Nope. God damn it.
Not what that town is called.
It's Worcester. It's not Worcester.
Like the sauce. Worcester sauce.
Yeah. Zodiac was interesting because like, nano machines that eat pollution got loose in like the Boston Harbor.
Interesting.
And like I forget why that was what the nano machines were doing that were bad.
Yeah.
Like it was something about like they were multiplying fast, and that was gonna fuck things up worse than the pollution.
Right.
Yeah, so I read Snow Crash, and I've seen the Matrix movies. And that's kind of it for my cyberpunk knowledge.
I love cyberpunk as a concept. But the problem I have with it is that almost all cyberpunk is written by white guys. So it's got a very particular vibe, and the
Mm-hmm.
clever white guy is usually the one that can see through all the bullshit, and not like the people of color who've been living under oppression for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a problem. And also the way to survive it is not to like band together and take collectivist action, but to be the coolest white guy with the biggest gun or
Yeah.
the coolest moves. Which come on,
Um,
that's oh boy, that's definitely a stance that you could take. It's not.
that's definitely a white guy chosen stance.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay, I'm looking up Zodiac on Wikipedia to see what the stuff is doing. Um, eventually,
Got the arm right.
Basco has.
Halfway through my drawing, I was like, did I draw the right arm as the cyber arm?
A bacterium is to
And I
digest
did.
toxins, cleaning up the harbor instantly. However, um, without fully testing it.
Blades look like in that game? They got really cool
Okay,
throwing knives.
so it looks like the
Hang on.
thing that eats the pollution and it then generates a worse toxin and as a result.
Gotcha.
Um so that stuff is bad. It hadn't completed testing. Um
Right. Don't release untested atmospheric changing things into just everywhere. That's bad. Don't do it.
so it was interesting
You know who would do
that
that though? Is
yeah.
like so many millionaires. They'd be like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
show you that I can save the world, and then they will fuck everything up.
Well, no, they have to charge, so they wouldn't release it intentionally until someone paid them
True.
enough money to do it.
Yeah. But a government would do it to show their populace that they were doing something about the climate
Yeah.
crisis.
Um, Onion Knight says on Valentine's Day he watched Reacher with the date, and that show was terrible in a profoundly funny way. There is a scene where a large white man to a black man and in the South about blues. Wow.
Oh. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
That
Oh
that
no.
it's giving me a lot of La La Land vibes.
No. Oh boy.
And anyway,
Oh, I love it. Oh no. That's bad.
but yeah, wait, Zodiac was good. It's interesting because like since it takes place in the real world, you can see like the expedition style that gets used in Snow Crashing developed, but he doesn't explain as much as it's our world. He has to explain the science like bacterium part.
Yeah.
And then what's interesting is in Ananthum, which he wrote decades later, he explains nothing. He just dumps you in, and you gotta figure it out from context clues.
Right. You're just like, okay.
And that is about monks that worship math.
Yeah.
And don't have any technology. But that they live in a world that has technology. If their religious reason for not using technology. I guess them being good at math makes them closer to God or something like that. But
right.
It was very interesting to compare and contrast. Onion Knight, that is one of my favorite Jenny Nicholson videos. Onion Knight is talking about Jenny Nicholson's a YouTuber. In one of her videos, she read a very, very bad book called Trigger Warning. Which is a very, very, very big man. The author needs you to know this man is giant.
Cool. You're very tall.
He's like an ex-marine or something. And he's going to college and like terrorists attack the college.
Right.
and it's like this college isn't a safe space for much longer, and it's very clearly like
God. Oh no.
so.
Oh no.
What's great is like
It's not
Jenny
a safe place
sums
to be a
up
white man.
Jenny sums up this whole like only a big white man can save these ineffectual liberal
Oh
snowflake college
no. Oh
students.
no.
Um, and what's great is that's the first half of the video. The second half
Oh
is
no.
Jenny looking into who wrote Trigger Warning.
Oh boy.
Twist: the author died 20 years ago. Because like it turns out that this guy wrote a bunch of books
Yep.
and was moderately successful at it. And then his niece, who was his assistant, he died, and she like finished up his incomplete work, and then kept
Right.
writing under his name.
Wow. Okay.
So there are now more books by him that have been released after he died than books that
He
he
ever
wrote
wrote.
while alive. Yeah.
Wow.
And like it's very clear that she is like trying to just slightly hide that he's dead. Like if you do digging, you can find out that he's dead, but it's very clear that like because he did have a face.
He's just appropriated the fan base and it's hers now, and she's like, "Hi,
Yeah.
I'm definitely this guy. Hi."
Because like because his author page is like in this picture so and so is at his house with his dog, and so it's like describing the picture rather than
and not actually what's
like
going on.
like not like his current situation, because
Right.
his current
And so
situation that
you
he's
might
dead.
get the impression if you just glanced at it that he was still alive
Yeah.
and writing books and not somebody else.
And it's
Fascinating.
also like she has clearly like clued into how to get more money from this fan base than her uncle ever did, because she's being like super mercenary using her uncle's name. When her
Right.
uncle was writing, he wrote like a variety of genres, like here are some westerns, here are some horror stories, and then like as she takes over, it becomes more and more like military fiction.
That's what's making that money.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah, it's a great video to watch. I like
When your
Jenny
pen
Nicholson's.
name is your dead uncle.
Yeah, Jenny Nicholson's videos are very good in general. She's kind of just enthusiastic on the internet, sort of her thing.
Good. I like that.
And
Good brand.
I back her Patreon, and then she like she makes X videos now that are like she just puts up some prompts and her patrons vote. It's stuff like what would be at a theme if you had to make a theme park that was based off creepypastas, what would the rides be like? And so she just rambles for an hour about like her Slenderman ride and like
Oh, good. I want to go on the Slenderman ride. That sounds great.
Yeah.
Oh man, did you see the thing that Corey posted? God, I think it was a couple weeks ago now. That was a horror film. I think it was called like The Rooms or something, and it took place in this just like hostile architecture world, and it was all just
No.
oh, it was so creepy. It was like this guy is filming a horror film with his friends out in the regular world, and then he steps backwards and falls through space. Like not even like outer space, but like the world beyond our world, like the world underneath it, and lands in like this first office tower where there's just it's just empty and beige, and he's just walking through all these rooms that never end, and the further he walks, the stranger the
Nightly
rooms get.
knows it. The back rooms.
The back rooms, yes. It is very good and also very scary.
Good. Good.
Oh,
I'll have to
it's real
check them
good.
out.
It's real good.
Um,
Corey was like, "This is my jam. This is my favorite kind of horror." And then I watched it, and I'm like, "Oh God, this is awful. I love it."
um, since last time we were streaming, you said you and Lane big Lord of the Rings people.
Yes, this is a
Um,
Lord of the Rings household.
uh, you said trailer for the new
Yep.
show.
Oh yes, we were waiting for it. That was what we were looking forward to on Super Bowl Saturday or Sunday.
What are
Was
your thoughts?
Lord of the Rings trailer. I'm cautiously scared.
Cautiously scared. Okay.
So, like I'm wanting it to be good, and I'm not writing it off yet. But also,
Mm-hmm.
they are, oh boy, they're doing some things with it. Is the thing. So the main thing is that they are compressing several hundred, maybe even like 1,000 years worth of Middle Earth history into like a 10-year time span, so that the human characters won't like die in turnover. Because
Mm-hmm.
obviously, like the Silmarillion is written like an old epic where it's like
Mm-hmm.
so and so was the king, and then he died, and his son did this, and then he died, and then his son did this. And, like
Mm-hmm.
that's how that sort of epics are written. Um,
And for the
so you're like,
people
okay, well,
factor, they obviously have changed stuff.
exactly, because that doesn't make for a good TV show. And I get that. That's fine. Um, but they've written in a new romance between a human and an elf,
That doesn't
and
bode
like
well.
there were only three of those in all of Tolkienian history. Um, so like they're just really going making stuff up now. Um, and yeah, that's I mean maybe it'll be okay. It's the cool black guy elf is and that's the thing. Like now it is a human woman and a male elf instead of the other way around, which is in all the rest of the stories. So
It's
we'll
good
see.
to
We'll see about that. Still watch it. It'll be very pretty, I imagine.
because I watched it. I'll let whoever they want bang an elf cast the first stone. Whoever ever wanted to bang an elf cast the first stone. Um, that's from Onion Night.
Good,
Um,
good.
Nightly Elf says, Ring has me gritting my teeth for a lot of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
A YouTuber I like, Hollow Feature Me, he does like writing advice, like discussing the craft of writing videos. He's a
Oh,
giant
neat.
Lord of the Rings fan, so he like
Right, right.
live streamed his reaction. And because he is a white dude,
Ooh.
um, he has a lot of dude fans who are in his
Hey,
chat,
trickster.
being like, why is Galadriel gotta have a sword, blah 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 blah, and like he's to this YouTuber guy's credit, he's
That's
like, why
fine.
is that a
Whatever.
problem? Why can't she have a sword? Like Gandalf has a sword.
Elves.
There's nothing that
Yeah.
says if you use magic you can't have swords too. Like
Yeah.
there's like it is canonical that Galadriel fought in all these battles. Like, why
Yeah.
is that your problem? Uh,
Good.
and
My only problem with Galadriel is they made her look very young, and it's like, yes, she's only 4,000 instead of 8,000 years old at this time period. Oh, super young.
yeah.
She's a baby.
But yeah, so like he was like whenever someone came with those types of criticisms, he like called them on it, and
Good.
like everyone said that I just don't want forced diversity. He's like, how is it forced?
God.
Define forced. Like
Yes.
kudos to him for like challenging people who are fans like these
Oh
shitty
man.
things.
We were at a
Um,
nerd friend's house, and his landlord came in and was like, "Are you guys talking about Lord of the Rings?" And we're like, yeah, hey, how's it going?" And he was like, "I just don't get why they're putting all this woke bullshit in there." And we were all like, anyway,
um,
we're
I
gonna talk about something else now.
I have heard one argument on why elves gotta be white, which is not in particular to Lord of the Rings. It's from comic writer Kieran Gillen.
Oh,
And like elves gotta be because they're Nazis, and they're the Nazi ideal, and that's why he hates elves. So
favorite in
like
elves.
whenever he makes elves are always white because in his mind they're forever tied to white supremacist ideals. So it's like okay, I
That's
can
his choice.
understand if that's the angle you're going with. That's why your elf all
Hmm.
gotta be white. Uh,
My other criticism is that they made Elrond brown-haired, which is weird because he's a Noldor who have black hair. That's their thing. That's how you tell a Noldor elf.
you know
So
what?
that's whatever.
Like, if yeah, I got a dog in this race or horse in the race.
No,
I got
it
so
made me
I'm
want to read the
just
Silmarillion again though, so that's cool. I'm probably gonna do that once I'm done my the 3 books I'm currently reading.
yeah all
Can't
of
read just
my
one book at a time. I have to read like 4.
all of my Lord of the Rings knowledge comes from listening to friends discuss it while I ask them questions.
Gotcha.
Um, so I know that like Gandalf is like kind of an angel.
Yes.
Like, and I know like lore or thing like that because I've watched
Yeah.
YouTube video explaining it, but I have not read the Silmarils.
Gotcha.
Because I did not have patience for it.
It
I
is.
didn't even
Dense. I don't blame you.
yeah. Listen, there's no funny hobbits in it, so
There's no barrel riding.
yeah, listen, just my my interest in Lord of the Rings is how much Merry and Pippin are there, and that is
Good.
if they're not
Good.
there, I'm not interested in.
Have you listened to their
Um,
podcast?
uh,
Like Billy Boyd and Dominic Monaghan, obviously not. They are not in
no.
character as the hobbits for the
I
podcast.
mean, they could be, and I would still listen to
They
it.
might as well be. It's that they were
Um,
just themselves.
um,
I'm really liking these brushes. I'm still playing with some of Ron Chan's brushes, and they are amazing. Everyone, go buy Ron Chan's brushes. I should put a link in the thing.
I'm using the Fendon Copic brush. That's
Mm.
what I shade. Because me a slightly stir edge. That I have a bit easier time controlling than um default soft edge brushes. Uh,
Some brushes that you should all buy. They are very good.
it
If you do digital art.
it mimics a Copicer is why I like it.
Ooh, nice.
And then I believe Ron Chan's brushes took the Brendan brush and like tweaked them.
Yeah, the settings. So they've got a bit more of a natural setting. Because I ink with brush pens, so I really like a brush feel to my digital pens. I also have my tablet sensitivity settings to like the softest setting, so I can do like these like lovely little. I need a color on my brush before I do that.
um,
But here, I'll show you. Like I do a lot
Onion
of like this kind
Onion
of
Night
motion.
flexing saying Red Lord of the Rings when he even
Nice. Good.
Onion Night that is maybe around the age I attempted to read The Hobbit and then put it down because it was taking too long for them to eat breakfast.
There. That's actually I like that. I'm keeping that. Boom. A little texture on this. Some texture. Anyway, there's some
I
brilliant
tried
Belfast
to
cyberpunk
read the
fan art,
Hobbit.
y'all.
I tried to Hobbit because I did like the rank ass Hobbit animated
Oh
movie.
yes. Yeah.
Um,
My first animation that I got really obsessed with was the Rankin Bass Rankin Bass the Last Unicorn.
uh, I only saw that like a couple of years ago for the first time.
Oh really?
Yeah, I'd never seen it as a kid. Uh, it's very interesting to watch for the first time as an adult. And there were definitely parts in it where I was like, does this make more sense in the book? And then I read the book and it's like, no, it does not.
Not really. No, no, not really. Yep.
Specifically, like the horny tree. That was a
No,
thing where I was like,
that doesn't make any more sense anywhere.
yeah, doesn't make any more sense in the book. There is no like context that the movie's missing that makes
Nope.
the tree make sense.
That tree is just horny. That's
That
just
tree
how
is
that thing is.
both a dick and so boobs.
That's just a thing. We wandered into the author's weird fan art,
yeah.
and now we have to deal with it.
But as a child, Golem gave me nightmares. Just fast forward to Brass Golem.
Oh man, Brother Theodore. Brother Theodore and his creepy, wonderful voice.
Yeah.
Dang.
I had a friend in college who did
the. Oh, go ahead.
I had a friend in college who did not like the Ringbass Hobbit because the elves were not pretty enough. They were too weird looking.
They were very Rankin Bass. I was gonna say the Red Bull in The Last Unicorn gave me nightmares. He was super scary.
You could definitely see this is a thing that would give child nightmares.
Yeah, I love that movie. It was because my best friend in kindergarten was like a super horse girl, and so she would watch anything horse related, and she had seen The Last Unicorn. She was like, Alina, you must watch this with me. And then I loved it because of the animation. So I've always been an animation nerd, even when I was like 5.
I watched 101 Dalmatians a lot as a kid, and Balto a lot as a kid.
Oh yes,
definitely on the side of dogs.
Yes, dogs are good. What? That doesn't track at all.
I really liked cheetahs as a kid.
Cheetahs are just cool. They're real fast.
I also got like running mascara.
Yeah, which is great.
Onion Knight is asking, it's the first animated movie I saw. I don't remember because probably when I was little and
no, but I do have good stories about seeing animation when I was really young. So when I was like, God, I must have been really young when All Dogs Go to Heaven came out. And my grandma, who's very Catholic and very sort of prudish, took me to it, and then was completely unprepared for scenes of dogs falling to hell.
Well, she was also probably upset because dogs have souls. Also,
so
her problem with the movie, that dogs don't have souls.
No, it was mostly she was like, "This is very violent to be taking a young child to," and I mean, she wasn't wrong. I was like 6. But I think the first thing I saw in theaters was The Little Mermaid. So I don't think the All Dogs Go to Heaven was the first thing I actually saw in a theater.
I don't remember the first thing I saw on a theater. It's like I don't know my first because I don't remember.
Try and draw All Dogs Go to Heaven from memory. This is gonna be bad.
Here's a question.
Like, what is Basset Boy?
What is the first movie you saw in theaters, and when you walked out, was like your reaction was that was not worth the money I spent it?
Oh boy.
I feel like this is an easier one to figure out your first. You have to be old enough to have your own money pay for the movie.
The Brendan Fraser. Is it Brendan Fraser? Inspector Gadget movie.
No, that was
my brother,
Matthew Broderick, not Brendan Fraser.
Matthew Broderick, yes. So my brother had begged me to take him to this movie. And I was old enough to take a young child to a movie, but young enough that I still like didn't have a ton of allowance. And my mom hadn't paid me allowance that week, but I had enough money on my own to like take him to the theater and like spend my own allowance for it because I was babysitting him that day, and I was like, well, I could try and wrangle you at home, but like we could also just go out and watch a movie, and that'll be a lot more fun for both of us. And the theater was like a little short walk from our house, so we went and watched this at the like cheap seats. And it was so awful that my brother was like, "Can we leave now?" And I was like trying to convince him to stay because I was like, "But I spent my own money on it." And then I was like, "Fuck it, I'll get mom to give me my money back because this is not worth paying anything for."
So the movie, it was either Queen of the Damned or Star Wars Episode 2. I forget which one came out first. Both of those movies, I have a distinct memory of walking out and being like, this was not worth the money I just spent on seeing it.
Right. You're just like, nope. Mm-mm.
Probably Queen of the Damned because I do remember it is maybe the most brutal movie review I remember in general is the review for Queen of the Damned said the only reason to see this movie is to watch a dead actress play a queen. Because Aaliyah had like died like a month before it came out.
Yeah. Wow. Yikes.
It was not a good movie.
Yikes.
All
right. I have drawn some All Dogs Go to Heaven from memory. I'm pretty happy with this guy. I don't think I got this guy even close to being right, but let's go. Let's pull up some reference and see.
People in the chat, what is the first movies you remember being like that this was worth the money I just spent it?
I mean, I didn't get this terribly wrong. Let me grab a screenshot here.
Nightly Elf is saying the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Oh, that one was not good. Yep.
Listen, his name is Mario.
Mario.
Luigi Mario and Mario.
Yeah.
The Onion Knight, you can't do that because you didn't have your own money for. So,
yeah. This one I legit spent my own money to go see it, and I was like, this was awful, actually. Here, I'm gonna see if I can drop
Onion Knight is saying, yeah. No, Onion Knight is the first time you spent money on your own movie. You spent your own money on a movie, and you walked out. You were like, "It was not worth my money."
My money has been wasted.
Onion Knight is saying Avatar.
Ooh,
Blue Cat Peep Avatar or Last Airbender
I'm guessing.
Avatar.
I mean, neither of them were great.
It could be either. Both are very bad.
I didn't do too bad on this. I remembered that like the floppy-eared basset hound had a little cap, and that the German Shepherd guy was the cool one.
Yeah.
He doesn't look remotely like a German Shepherd or like that style of animation. But like that's not terrible from memory. I watched it when I was like 6.
I remember seeing the Onion and Blue Cat People movie.
Blue Cat People. Oh god. I've never seen it and I never will because it is so cringy. Just the concept of like, well, we can't talk about actual indigenous rights, but we can talk about blue alien cat people who fuck with their hair.
They fuck with their tails, not their hair. It's a furry wet dream. Hair. Oh, well, it's the hair at the end of their tails.
Oh, that's someone's weird fetish.
Yep.
Oh boy. Yeah, that's a thing. I even remember that the cool little friend Basset dog wore a little shirt. Look at I put a little shirt on.
Is saying they fuck with both. I think.
Do they? They fuck with both their tails and
they
their
fuck
hair?
with both. Yeah.
Good. Mm-hmm.
This is why Disney said this needs to be part of Disney World.
Did you see the terrifying like real baby dolls that are baby Avatar people?
No, and I don't
They're
think I want to see those.
horrifying. They're very scary. I would love, no, I would hate to because I don't want one of those things anywhere near me. But I'm sure that someone with much more fortitude than I have has bought one of those and modded it up to just be a terror. Just like crazy undead blue baby cat person doll. Ugh. Have you seen the trailer for the new Rescue Rangers movie?
I have not. I did see.
I.e., the maybe a sequel to Roger Rabbit, sort of?
I did see a debate on how are the animators on that movie classified visual effects people or animators.
Oh, I saw,
Um,
yeah. I saw Spike and Kelly talking about that because Kelly's in the animation industry.
yeah, and it's because like visual effects people are not covered by the Animation Guild, so
Yeah,
doing all of these live action visual effects heavy movies is a way to get around unions. Um,
yeah. Potentially, though there are 3D unions for 3D artists. Though that doesn't cover most of the 3D work which gets shipped overseas, which is a
mhm.
lot. Hey, the Apex, how's it going?
People in my
I
chat are still debating how the blue cat people fuck.
hair or tail? Why not
It's
both?
yeah. Um, I think it's funny that James Cameron lost the Oscar the year Tar came out to his ex-wife.
Oh,
That
that's very good. That's beautiful. I love that.
yeah, that's good. Chef's kiss.
That's some delightful Schadenfreude.
Um, and
There. I drew the dead dog guy in his actual proper on model
in
form instead of just my
all
from memory.
dogs in All Dogs Go to Heaven, I it took me forever to realize that the bad guy is Scarface and not Scarface. Like
Yes.
his name is supposed to be referencing Scarface, but as a kid, I just thought he was named Scarface because that's such a
Scarface.
better name for a villain. Like
Yup. Yup.
Carface is a dumb name. Like his face not look like a car.
No.
Why
I
did he be
mean,
named
it would have
that?
been great
Like
if they had, if they just drawn like Chairface Chippendale, but like his whole entire head is a car.
you know.
Ah,
Um,
the villain designs in the Tick are very good.
they
And
are.
by good, I mean dumb in a really wonderful way.
Did you ever watch the live action pick that was on Amazon Prime?
Can't say that I did.
It's pretty good. It's like I get all edgy about superheroes because we've reached such oversaturation.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so many like superhero deconstructions are like, but what if superheroes were bad actually? Um,
What? What a
and
fresh
so
new take on things.
so they have like superhero their Superman and analog. And
Mm-hmm.
what I thought was way more interesting is they just made him like not good at coping with his feelings. Because like the main plot the Superman analog is so there's a villain that their Superman analog supposedly killed, and it turned out maybe he didn't kill him. And the villain reveals that he's been alive this whole time. So
Right.
people are for the first time realizing that this Superman analog is fallible, and like are tweeting on social media, tweeting and posting on social media that he's a fuck up, and like he doesn't know how to deal with people not like him. So he's
Interesting.
like doesn't know, like, so he tries to then explain himself, and then makes it worse. And he just has this like complete like foot and mouth disease because he's so not used to people not liking him.
Oh, interesting.
And then but then like he gets frustrated, and that's scary because he's super strong, but like he's not actively malicious. He is just like has poor like social skills. And then like what else was interesting is so they have a plot line where the Tick and Arthur are asked to join like a fake Justice League sort of deal.
Right, yeah.
And Arthur is all like, well, the Tick is super strong and actually has superpowers, and I kind of this sweaty and clearly want him, but they're not want him, me.
Yeah.
And then like, he gets in, Arthur does, and not Tick, and then that really confuses Arthur, and then they're like, we did a background check on him, and he has no history. We have no idea where he came from or where he got his powers. Like, so like government ends like. So the government becomes super paranoid, since thing like the Justice League thing, and they're like, you used to be an accountant. We know who you are. Like, so they don't want to like work with the Tick because who knows? He might be a robot that a bad guy made, like to infiltrate security.
How many times has that happened to the X-Men? Like all the time?
Yeah.
So it's a legitimate concern.
And in the same thing, we're showing like the government being super prepared is like to go back to the Superman analog, being poor social skills and not realizing how he's coming off, because he needs to be alone to think. Their Superman goes to the moon, and is just pissing on the moon,
has carved into it. It's good.
Yeah, so he's just pacing on the moon while he like thinks and mutters to himself, and we cut to him on the moon being, but what if I did this, and like just like talking things out the way someone anxious would do in their kitchen. And then it cuts to the government guys that are like, why is he on the moon? What's he doing on the moon? We need like
totally plotting something. This is a problem. We can't control this man. He can fly to the moon.
Yeah, so it was good because it's like one of those things like once in like humor let you like make your point better than like being grim dark serious all the time.
Yeah.
Because I also watched Invincible, and my problem with Invincible was...
Is that on Amazon Prime?
Yeah.
So cool. My problem I can watch that now.
Yeah. So my problem with Invincible is like it keeps bringing up stuff to show we're adults that have thought through the conclusions about like the superhero things, like why do superheroes have to fight crime? Why don't they like work on like supernatural, like natural disasters, and like bring relief to impoverished areas and whatnot? The usual like why doesn't Batman do charity work argument?
Yeah, basically.
And so it's like they bring that
millionaires think they can save everything for some reason.
They bring that up and they don't explain it. So it's like, hey, I want to prove that we know about this, but then we don't want to talk about it at all. And it's like, then why bring it up? Because it just makes the rest of your show look weaker by comparison. Because like, do you know the big twist in Invincible?
I don't. I read the comic like for the first little bit where I was like, oh, this is like a fun family comic thing, and then it started getting weird and dark, and I was like, cool, nope, not gonna read this now.
Okay.
So I don't know the plot twist.
Well, the one thing I think the show does better than the comic is it's more upfront about what the plot twist is going to be.
Gotcha.
It's pretty much revealed in the first episode, and then the chin comes more from when does the main character find out the plot twist.
Right.
His dad's evil, basically.
Yeah, I
His
think
dad's
I read
evil.
that part in the comic, and then I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
so
get it.
his
And then
dad was sent to conquer Earth from like rather
he's like an
than
alien guy.
yeah.
Yeah. He's not like,
He's
I'm Earth's
Vegeta.
defender. Yes. Gotcha.
He's Vegeta pretending to be Goku. So his whole
Yeah.
Superman shtick is to get Earth on his
On his
side,
side.
and also to see like what their defenses are, like to get Earth trust him.
If he's got, if he's on the Justice League, he'll get all the secret.
He's not really
stuff.
on the Justice League. Like, he doesn't like teams,
Yeah.
is like a thing that he specifically says.
Gotcha.
But like, he knows that the Justice League exists and what they're capable of. So he's basically taking notes so that way his home planet can invade later.
Cool. Good.
And so the big showdown at the end is main character learns out his dad is evil and part of an empire. And
now he's
dad immediately says, yeah, well, so dad immediately says to son, okay, you should join the empire, and we're gonna take over the humans, and we're gonna just fuck them up, take them over by force. And son is like, no, and they fight to prove that like dad is stronger, and he's stronger than all the humans, and the humans can't stop them. So his son only thing standing in the was takeover. So why can't he just be part of the takeover? And he beats the shit out of his son. And I feel like, okay, since he likes his son, and like they're an empire and they want to conquer everyone, but like they don't need to jump to violence right away. Like, because why doesn't Dad try to talk son into help the empire by saying, we have more advanced medicine, we can cure cancer, these are all the cool things we can do if we take over Earth. And he never does that side of the sales pitch. He does a like, you should join Empire. By the way, you got cool with killing human real quick, son. Like, he doesn't lead up to it. He jumps straight to, you gotta get cool mass murder right away. And it's
the old Star Trek or Star Wars method where it's like, right, I'm gonna be evil now. I guess I should kill children.
Yeah. So
he never.
He never says. And so it's like, okay, they're an empire, and they think their empire is good, so he needs to have arguments so he thinks the empire is good. And he never makes those arguments for his son to rebuttal before resorting to violence. He just resorts to violence.
Well, I mean, all superheroes it's got to be a punch fest eventually. So like.
And so it's like, and it seems like bringing up these political things to show you that they're aware of them, but then solves it with punching anyway, rather than actually discussing anything.
Gotta go straight to punching.
Yeah. So it's like there are things that would be interesting, but they're like, hey, here's an interesting, and we're not gonna talk about it.
Right. We're just going straight to the superhero punching.
Even the Fire Nation has propaganda that tells the Fire Nation they're the coolest. Like,
yep. Fire Nation's got this figured out. There is no war in Ba Sing Se.
That's the Earth Kingdom, obviously. But yeah.
Yeah, that's Earth Kingdom.
But like
but
the
also
Fire
they've got their propaganda figured out.
Yeah. So like, you've thought of some propaganda for these guys? These Superman fascists.
That's a great sentence.
What's very funny is there was an article that went up recently that was Jeff Bezos understand what's suspicious about him funding all of these all these shows where Lex Luthor's nemesis is actually a bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Also, his
yeah,
testing on cyber implants led to like all of the monkeys dying,
that was
and also the
Elon Musk. That's
university. Oh, that was
that
Elon
that
Musk.
different crazy
I
billionaire.
mean, they're interchangeable. Just a different crazy millionaire.
No,
God.
because one wants to go to Mars, and the other
Right.
to make the expanse.
Yes.
That is the difference.
Gotcha. I get those two confused.
And
They're all bad.
and I think Jeff Bezos is the scarier of the two because he's slightly more competent than Musk, so he might make the expanse happen. Whereas
that's bad.
Elon Musk is going to just blow a bunch of monkeys, which is all sad. Not gonna get him to Mars.
No.
Which is also sad that he's not gonna end up on Mars.
It'd be fine if just he went to Mars and didn't spend millions of money getting there, and then we didn't have to worry about him anymore. That'd be great. That sounds fun. I had a surreal moment when I was playing Cyberpunk where I was like, they had this, like, because there's like a news network that you can listen to while you're driving your little car around. And they've got these like ridiculous news stories of like, blah, 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 this crazy thing is happening. And they were like, I don't remember the specific news story, but it was very sort of like, oh yeah, that's just our news today. That's fine. It's fine that our real world is in Cyberpunk. It's this horrible dystopian Night City future. Great, that's good.
When Elon Musk announced that brain chip thing, one of the first tweets I saw about it was someone saying, "This man's cars regularly blow up when you use them.
Yeah. Yes.
Don't trust him to put anything in my head."
Yep.
I'm gonna show you the pages I just finished.
Sweet. I, for no reason that I can tell, am drawing Gadget Rescue Rangers just because it was mentioned briefly in the stream, and why not?
Yeah, and a lot of people want to fuck Gadget.
I mean, yep.
She gateway.
Oh, those are good. Nice.
I
like your color scheme in there.
Thank you. I like guy with the cloak. My favorite bit is he has this little at a mustache.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just delightful.
The bit of a line above his lip. That's very good.
He's trying.
I also really like his very freckled arms.
Yeah. He's trying very hard to look like an adult and a mature wizard.
He's not quite there yet.
He's got to work on that wizard beard.
Yeah. It's like, I'm grown up. Look at my 5 hairs.
He's entirely in this comic because of the documentary about the making of the island of Dr. Moreau.
Oh, good.
Have you seen that documentary?
I have not, but I think you were telling me about it, and there was like a wizard who blessed the project, and then he died.
Yes, he died, and all his cells came undone.
God,
and it's just
sure your wizard doesn't die, y'all.
But the way the wizard is introduced into the narrative is the directors say, "So I called up my wizard friend."
Yes.
And he says it with a completely straight face.
Of course you have a wizard
friend.
Like
a wizard friend is the thing that everyone has.
I mean, and I'm just... I could call up a wizard friend. Could you?
I do not have a wizard friend. I am in that department.
Hell, get with the program. Get a wizard.
Too many
How
wizards.
else are you going to have a casting done so that all of your projects will come to fruition?
Yeah. I mean, clearly, Nightly Elf is agreeing. Gadget, Maid Marian, and Rebecca from Elspin are gay furries.
Hell yes.
So Sonic the Hedgehog, basically the entire cast, Sonic Hedgehog, gateway furry. Really entire cast. the entire cast of Disney's Robin Hood. Trying other gateway
Oh,
furries.
Shere Khan.
Shere Khan.
Shere Khan's a gateway furry.
Yeah.
That deep voice.
Then did you ever watch the show Road Rovers?
No.
It is not a good show. It is about dogs.
A show that exists.
It is about dogs that go into special machine that turns them into superheroes, which makes them dog furries. Or a superhero team that fights various terrorists and whatnot, threats to the world.
Cool. Yep.
And they're all owned by world leaders.
Oh, good. They're like the first dogs. What if the first dogs were super?
Yeah. Basically, I feel like the main leader dog is definitely like someone's. Let's make a cartoon of Bill Clinton's dog. I feel that's where that came from.
I think that is in fact the elevator pitch for that. Yep.
What if Bill Clinton's dog was a superhero?
What if you wanted to fuck Bill Clinton's dog?
And then there was like a collie that was English and was a sea lady. And
of course, because you gotta get that collie hair in there.
Yep. And then there was Arnold Schwarzenegger stereotype, Doberman Pinscher.
Was he Austrian?
He was German, but like he's
German,
basically
of course.
Yeah.
What if he had German Shepherd?
And then there was a husky that was a Russian stereotype.
Yep.
They were all like international stereotypes.
Oh, good. Mm-hmm. I'm sure there was a very racist caricature of like some kind of Japanese or Chinese breed of dog.
No, that would mean including non-white people in this dog cartoon,
yes.
and they can't do that. So they're all European countries. And
random 20-minute gadget.
But yeah, you should look up what Road Rover looks like.
I am going to, because I am curious.
Rovers definitely.
It's rovers, like a dog. Oh yeah. Oh, those are some. Wow. I've already seen 2 porny versions of them. Great. There's also a big abominable snowman kind of dog.
He's like a big sheepdog. And he's from Sweden, I think.
You can't see his eyes, but he's very big.
Yeah.
Here is one that looks like a Beastars Road Rovers crossover. So that's fun.
So Knightly Elf is Goliath, and I feel like Goliath, Brooklyn, not furries, but monsters. That's a whole different category. I feel like that is mostly gargoyles and Digimon made people monster fuckers.
Is Nightcrawler, is he in that category? Because he's a human dude. But he's definitely a monster.
He looks like a demon, so he's definitely in the monster fucker category.
Cool.
So they're the gateway monster fuckers.
Right. Good.
I was never
to know my people.
I was never in Nightcrawler.
Oh God. Corey and I could go on about Nightcrawler for days.
Yeah, no. I know you and Core and Spike. I know there's a large contingent of my friends that were into Nightcrawler.
Boy.
I always thought Gambit was the hottest X-Men.
See? And you can tell a lot about people by which X-Men they found sexy. And took me years to figure out that I was bi, but I was super into both Rogue and Nightcrawler.
Rogue and Gambit are my CP. Rogue and Gambit are my OT.
Good.
And I like dudes that are scruffy.
I could not tell from your very scruffy main character. Well, it is 10 o'clock. Do we want to wrap this up?
Yeah, wrap up. I'm done coloring anyway.
We can talk more about monster fuckers next week.
Yes.
Good.
Because, yeah. Thanks everyone for watching. Once again, you can find my comics at kelmcdonald.com.
And you can find my comics at weregeek.com or alina-pete.com.
And we'll see you next week.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, everybody.
I'm Kel McDonald on Twitch, and
I am Were Geek Comics.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Talk to you later.